Hi, welcome to Sundays in the Studio at the Art Gallery of Windsor. We want to say thanks to Anne Sofranyos and her family for the support that she has shown to the gallery over the years. We've had a lot of fun here, and there have been a lot of great artists taking part. Thank you again. Right now we're in the studio for Sundays in the Studio for December 6th. Today's activity is going to be using acrylic paint on canvas, and I have a few other things to add to make it a little bit special. Keep in mind that these things are going to be starting points for you. You can add to them, you can get ideas from them, and you can continue with your own artwork as well. I wanted to show the materials that I used for doing these pieces of art. So we have acrylic paint. I've used some glitter glue, which is optional. It's not necessarily to use that. And of course, brushes. I have some glue, and I'd like to start with a preparatory sketch just to give myself some idea of space in on the canvas. So I just do a little pencil work to give myself a little starting point, and then I continue to work towards the canvas so that I have a little idea of where I'm going to go. I went to the canvas and lightly penciled in a line of horizon. So I divided the sky and the ground. Again, I lightly sketched in this character, just the basic shape, so that I would have a placement for that before I started painting. With the silver, white, and blue paint, I use a palette. I like to take paint onto the palette in small amounts, because you can always add to it. So I started the sky first with white, and I brushed gently over the whole sky with the white paint. I let it dry just a little bit, and then I decided to go on with blue, and I poured onto my palette, and then I painted across. I wanted to show the elements of art in this piece, the basic elements of art. So I did a diagonal line, straight line in the sky, streaking with the blue. I also wanted to show a contrast with the blue and the white. And then I let that dry. So you have to be patient. And if you choose to go a little bit into faster speed, you could always use a hair dryer to dry a little bit faster. Otherwise, I recommend that you let it dry. With the white paint, I continued on with the shape of the snow person here and pulled the paint forward a little bit to give it also some texture. Letting that dry, I continued on with the details that I wanted to add. Now, if you wanted to give it a little pizzazz, you could gently brush on some glitter glue, which I have here, and I recommend that you pour it onto the palette and use the brush to gently go over here to give you a little bit of shine and a little bit of glitter. So we have lines, diagonal lines, we have curved lines and texture here, we have balance coming up, and shape. So if you wanted to add something different, I prepared some other things on stock paper, also with acrylic paint. So you might want to add something like that to add more detail. You could go with something like this, a little more geometric. And if you wanted to change it up a little bit more, I added something like this, getting closer towards the holiday time. I started out with a brush about this wide. I have a variety of brushes in different sizes, so I always have those handy. And I'm going to continue on showing you how I did this one, and I'm going to do this one in blue. So I have my silver branches done, and I'm just going to go over a little bit of blue here. Sometimes I put on music and I paint to the music getting in my curvy lines. And I often let that sit for a while, and I'll take it up and I'll look at it in different directions. I might turn it upside down, turn it sideways. I'll look at it from a distance so I can see where I might want more paint. Sometimes I'll go back to it after a few hours, see where I might want to add more paint, and let it dry. I wanted to show a night scene in the winter, so I decided to use the blue and the black, and I mixed those two colors to give me the color I wanted in the sky. I didn't go quite to the edge, so I left a little bit of a white border. Next, I went on with a little bit of white and silver. I colored the whole area first with a smooth coat of white, and then I mixed in some silver, pulled it around to give that textured look. Purely optional, but if you choose to make it a little bit glittery for the sky, I added some gold flecks. Before the paint completely dried, I sprinkled a little gold flecks on, so the paint acted like a glue to it. I wanted to have a moon in my picture because when I was looking out from my house, the night that I was working on this, there was a beautiful, beautiful gold moon. I thought that was kind of unusual for a gold moon at this time of the year. But I decided to put it in with some glitter. I used a circle, first of all, cut out, and then I added that. Here are some other ideas that you might want to add to this piece. If you would like to use a white moon, you could use a sparkly white moon. These I painted with acrylic. They can be glued on with hot glue or white glue, even a glue gun. So I might want to have some different ideas like this to add to my scene. You could do them in a variety of fashions. You could continue and even add something like this to give it a little bit more of a glam look. And those could be glued on as well with white glue. One other idea, you could switch it up and have something like this. Have fun. I had a great time.